confusion.
Right.
Why would I, have anything? Why would I be following you? I'd be following the Spirit within. Did you get it down?
Job 33 and 15.
Job 33:15.
In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he opens the ears of men.
Then he opens the ears. When people's in a deep sleep, slumbering upon their bed. Go ahead.
Then he opens the ears of men and sealeth their instructions.
Because when we look at Yahweh, when we gave children of Israel this 10 Commandment law out here, and one of the first laws was, take no other God, let no other God be before me, let no other El be before me. Yahweh is a jealous El. So whatever you have in your heart and mind, if it's not Him, if you focus on any other thing in Mystery Babylon, which is, the first thing it said, try to distract you with all kind of nonsense, with all kind of base and carnal-minded thoughts, and you aren't seeking out Him and His wisdom. And this woman, at least she had enough sense in this dream tape to say, let me tap into the wisdom of the dreams. I have a problem. Let me put this little paper up underneath my pillow, and let me ask. She doesn't talk about spiritual things, but we know, the source that she's receiving her information from is Yahweh Pure Spirit. Because Yahweh exists in an abstract state, He exists in a shape and form, and in corporeal state, He exists in a concrete state. 3 states, yet one. So Yahweh Pure Spirit, all things spring forth from that. That's the source and substance of everything that we have in our creation. All things that we have, well, we can see and can't see, come from Yahweh Pure Spirit. So, like I said, I remember that Titanic dream of that woman so vividly because she was so, really, the society had put her in a state where she was being, how you conformed and brainwashed, and peer pressure was too much for her. Mm-hmm. So, she, with all her parents and everybody pushing her on this trip, she lost her life. Because of that, and not thinking, not taking note of what Yahweh had told her. So, I want to play a few more clips on this CD. We do have the CD. This lady's name is Lori Nadale, and she's a clinical psychologist. And she said that as she began to, work with her patients and stuff, and then Nori says too, people start calling in with a bunch of ominous, looming clouds, and they start having dreams about clouds. But before I go to the clouds, I want to say one thing about vitamin D, just to let you all know what that's about. Now, we learned about vitamin D about 3 or 4, maybe a month ago. Mm-hmm. That we ought to be taking the D3, 5,000, IUs a day. Well, it comes from the sun, S-U-N. And what you got to understand is that when you're looking at spirit, the S-U-N is a type of the S-O-N.
That's right.
So these dreams, that we're talking about, they're coming from the S-O-N. He's giving us dreams, and then the S-U-N, which is a physical manifestation, and that what's activated in the body is this thing called vitamin D. Well, it's really not a vitamin. If you all got the CD, it's a steroid hormone that activates about 10% of your genome. So you got about 20,000 genomes in your body. 2,000 of them are not working until vitamin D kicks in, until the sun, S-U-N, comes to you, to your physical flesh, and activates these genes. And what happens in your body is it fights off microorganisms. So this vitamin D in your body makes your immune system so much more smarter and powerful to be able to fight off germs and bacteria. Well, look at that from the natural, take the natural to understand the spiritual, then the S-O-N, which is Yahshua, he's the true son. That's in all of us. He speaks to us through dreams and symbols and needs an interpretation, of course. And we know that the new covenant, as the first speaker said, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that I will write a new covenant in your heart and mind, and He'll give dreams and visions to everybody under the new covenant. So as the S-U-N is activating into the vitamin D to fight, what does it do? It fights germs, bacteria, microorganisms. Then the SON gives you information so that you can stand tall and fight the lies and deceitfulness of Mystery Babylon. I mean, because the world, like I say, is full of distractions and full of just like the marathon today, some people take that as that's their religion, the exercise thing. They're so involved into the, getting their physical bodies together that they forget that there's a spiritual body that's housed within a spiritual body. And this spiritual body is immortal and will last after the physical body goes to the grave. And so people get distracted into things that really, some of the arguments that come around you don't take you anywhere. They don't prepare you. They don't develop you. It's something that your mind can, it's like an exercise, an abstract exercise, but you can't really go anywhere with that, in your mind. So there's different isms in the world. We know, like Nazism, of course, there's a supremacy of the blonde-haired, blue-eyed race. But there's other isms that are just as that can harm you just as much if you embrace them and if you have faith in them, rather than the power latent in man or the Holy Spirit in you. So let us play this clip. This lady's going to talk about clouds, and we did it a little bit last week, but I wanted to play it again because they keep talking about everyone that calls in and sings something on the horizon. Something is coming.
Coast to coast stadium.
You don't have a collective place. We don't have someone, except perhaps for yourself, or there's something that I like to do on my show, where people can share these dreams as they're...
She's talking about our culture doesn't promote dreams, doesn't encourage people to talk about dreams. So when people have dreams, even though they could prophesy things to come, because everyone's dismissing dreams, including the dreamer. No one's paying attention to what's going on in the night visions. They're losing information. And she said if there was some place that we could collect these dreams and post them and keep note of them, we could interpret them and know, what's going on. Go ahead.
They're coming up so that we can begin to build a kind of data collection of dreams, because when we have enough dreams, we'll be able to find out what is going on in the collective unconscious. And then we'll be able to get some clues as to what might be coming down the pipe.
Listeners are saying right now, as they have been for months now, maybe well over 6 months, that everyone who calls senses something big, something impending. I don't think it was the economic calamity, though it could have been. Yet they continue to have these feelings of, they just feel something looming.
That's right.
Are you getting that too?
Absolutely. I get it from individuals. I get it in my one-on-one sessions. I get it from family members and from friends. And one of the themes that has been reported to me in terms of dreams are people are dreaming of strange and unusual cloud formation, which they universally describe as I looked at these clouds. I'd never seen clouds like this before.
Are these like mushroom clouds?
No, these are not mushroom clouds. They're different. They're dark clouds. They're clouds that are low to the horizon. They have a completely different pattern than clouds that people say they've ever seen.
Let's pick that right up when we come back, Lori. This is an incredible part of your work. I'm George Norrie, back in a moment on Coast to Coast Day.
People are reporting dark
Coast to
clouds.
Coast Day. And welcome back to Coast to Coast. I'm George Norrie. We're with Dr. Lori Nadel today, and we're talking about precognitive dreams. Her website, unlockyoursixthsense.com, is linked up at coasttocoastam.com. So, Lori, you were talking about how so many people are seeing these strangely shaped clouds. Let's elaborate a little bit.
That's right. These strangely shaped clouds that are dark. They tend to be kind of elongated, low to the horizon. And the phrase that everyone uses to describe these clouds is that they have an ominous feeling. It feels like the
these kinds of dust clouds? Volcano?
It's quite possible that, again, there are all kinds of shifts that are going on in the Earth's magnetic field, and it could be geological, it could be dust clouds, it could be the shifting of the polar energies that people are talking about.
Well, let me ask you about precognitive dreams.
Right.
Are they dreams of reality in that if you see buildings and dust, that's what they really are? Or are they illusions, images that people...
And so he's going to ask, are they symbolic? That's his point. So we're going to go a little bit beyond that. Wait 1 second.
He doesn't want to believe this.
Hey, when was this done?
We have seen in the southern hemisphere, in South America, in the jungle.
September 3rd.
So I kind of interpret it to mean that there could be, again, with the geological shifts that are going on and these prophecies about 2012, that perhaps there's going to be a huge polarization, not necessarily specifically in weather, but that something that was common to us or natural to us is suddenly going to shift in a way that is negative or in some way ominous, because that's the feeling that I have in these dreams.
Do we have any data that tells us how these events equate into time with the precognitive dream? I have a dream on Monday. Does an event occur on Wednesday? Do we know?
Again, you kind of have to look at the body of dreams, and if we look at 9/11 as kind of precedent, the majority of dreams, so people were reporting, dreams like every day, every week in their therapist's office, happened the summer before. So we would say 2 to 3 months before an event. There's going to be an intensification in the collective unconscious. There's going to be an intensification of people's ability to perceive these symbols, these archetypes, these universal images.
And this is the thing that, did you know there were thousands of dreams about 9/11? That's not on the news.
What did she say? 3 to 4? What did she say? 3 to 4 months?
2 to 3 months before an event. He said 2 or 3 months before 9/11, thousands of people were having dreams about 9/11. Pardon?
Some as far as years.
Yeah, some as far as a year before. But the point is that when this information is made available, Yahweh is speaking to it. This is why he says 2 or 3 gathered in my name. We should not fail to assemble ourselves, because when we assemble ourselves, and as long as we're talking, thus saith Yahweh, or what Yahweh has sent unto you, and you're sharing it with everybody, that is what it means to be led by the Spirit. That means that He's in the midst of us. So this whole thing about dreams being looked at as as something that only crazy people talk about, or something that's very that's so dismissive and so insignificant that no one has time to say anything about, or even waste their time to discuss it. You're right. Such a trite matter just let you know what the world thinks about spirit. So this is what they're turning their back on, and this is just like that king I was telling you about that fell through his ceiling. And he had the nerve enough to send his messengers to another outside Israel. And Elijah, Yahweh said, go to this king. This king must be losing his mind. This king knows that I dwell within here. He had made a whole tabernacle. He made a house for the people. And said, look, I put different, furnishings in here, and I got this Ark of the Covenant, the most holy place, and only, Moses and the certain prophets were able to go up here. And I'm speaking to you all, and then you as king of Israel are not going to inquire of me, but you're going to go outside the body. This is what he meant. Now, what about you? This is your body. See, you're going outside of your body to inquire of, what's going to happen, to me, who am I going to marry? Will I have enough money to do what I need to do? I got a problem at work, how do I resolve it? Instead of asking Yahweh within you, you're going outside the body and asking, whomever you have confidence in. Maybe it's your, spouses, your parents, friends, whatever. Well, Yahweh doesn't like that. He's a jealous elf. He said, look, anything that, it's just like when we say Isaiah 54 and 5, the Creator is thy husband, Yahweh of hosts is his name. See, there's only one man in this whole creation. His name is Yahweh Elohim. The males that are in this room right now are reflex of him. men, give life to women, bring forth life because Yahweh Elohim, the true man, is the only creator. That's the whole, so all this male, domination or, female submissiveness is a misinterpretation of what really is going on. Because the creator is only one source that can bring forth life. And so in this universe, there can only be one, gender, male, that has to impregnate the females to bring forth life. And just like that gray and white fluid that's secreted from those sexual secretions doesn't have any shape and form in the abstract state. But when it's in the mother's womb for those 40 weeks to 9 months, it takes on shape and form. Right. Just like Elohim, he moves from the abstract to intermediate, or gas, or any, substance, moves from gas to a liquid state. Well, what state does liquid take on any shape it's in? You put liquid in a pop bottle, it's going to take that shape. You put liquid in a cup, it's going to take that shape. Right. You put liquid in a glass, it's going to take that shape. So any shape, so that's what's forming for 40 weeks in the womb. And then after that, what's born that you can actually see, feel, and touch, that's like the Messiah coming down in flesh. Or gas being made materialized. Ice, from you see gas or water in the gas state, water in the liquid state, and water in the solid state, which is ice. Right. That's what you can see, feel, and touch with your eyes and your senses. But before this, these things have been taken shape and form. This is why this pattern is so once you understand the pattern and how it operates, it explains many things that go on in the universe. Right. So any idea that you have explains the thoughts for your mind. And then it's conceived rather in the mind. It takes ownership and form, in your mind while you're, getting the thoughts together. And then whatever you're thinking about is acted out in the concrete. But before that conception of the idea in the mind, this is why this guy talking about the sewing machine. He's been trying to figure out the sewing machine for how long? The guy that did the benzene ring. He was trying to figure out how that chemical, how that molecule worked, the helix of the DNA. These things came to people in dreams, and this is what history has left out. Right. When you read your history books, you don't read that George Washington had a dream. Right. And he was told that this war that he was fighting was going to be won. An angel came to him in the form of a woman. They don't tell you that, but it's in other books that you love, the secret Mason books.